channel. This is a live recording. I hope you can see me. I hope you can see me.
14 seconds. Zero watching now. Zero
Let
likes.
me see. Okay, I hope you can see me. Please just give me a thumbs up. Please, if you can't see me, give me a thumbs up.
Top fans button.
Yes.
Zero watching now. Zero likes.
So I was looking for my previous episode and I couldn't find it. I don't know if I did the savings wrong or I deleted it by mistake. I don't know, but I couldn't find my previous episode. I actually recorded it yesterday, but yeah, so this is another recording, but still of the same. So if you didn't join us yesterday, yeah, this is how it went. And
top fans button. Zero watching now. Zero likes.
yeah, here in Kenya, it's around what? It's about 5 o'clock, heading to 6 in the morning. So I just, I want to be very intentional in regards to also putting up my journey with you, sharing with you my journey. So I don't want to also be taking too much time without posting and yeah, just sharing with you my journey and progress, right? Yeah, so thank you so much for joining.
Top fans button.
If you don't
Zero watching now. Zero
if you
likes.
don't know me, I'm a person with visual impairment. I lost my sight 20 years ago, and so it's not been easy, but I thank God because so far God has really helped me. God's grace has been sufficient. I've been able to do a lot. I've been able to achieve a lot. And I thank God. I really do. So I was sharing in the previous episode how I was able to overcome the challenges I was facing at home. And if you haven't watched the previous episodes, please watch because it will give you a good foundation to understand my story and, to understand even what we're talking about today. And yeah, so how I used to overcome, number one was to I went numb. So I couldn't even feel like,
One watching
because
now. Zero likes.
when people do things to you and you don't understand why they're doing things, or rather when you're being accused falsely and you don't understand why you're being accused, it's easy to also
Six watching now. Zero
feel
likes.
like to feel like you're the one who is on the wrong consistently, and even your self-esteem also goes down and it goes low. So in the previous episodes I really explained the challenges I was facing at home as a person with visual impairment, the environment, how it was in the house, and how toxic it was. Being that I lost my sight, my mom also passed on at a very young age. I was only 5 when she did, and as well, my dad remarried around 3 times. But from the time I was 3 to 23, my dad had remarried 3 times. So those big changes in my life, how much it affected me. So at home, I went numb. I also what else did I do? I went numb, and also I would ignore, because when you're being falsely accused, when issues are being
Three watching now.
brought
Zero
up
likes.
and you can't explain why those issues are there, or rather you can't even explain the foundation or the where the issues are. How can I put it? When you can't explain how these issues are coming about, usually you find that it's easy for you to just also ignore now because it's also becoming too much for you to bear. So for me personally, I remember I used to just ignore when they would bring the issues my way, and rather when they would accuse me falsely, I would just ignore, because most of my time I used to spend my time in my room. So those issues really used to weigh me down. I remember there were days I used to cry. I remember there were days I used to go
Six watching now.
I
Zero likes.
was I was like, because of the challenges I was facing at home, and it wasn't easy because you can
Seven watching
imagine
now. Zero likes.
when people do what, like for me, like I explained in the previous episodes, it was a big house. Everyone had their room, good environment
One watching now. 0 likes.
outside, but inside at home, the environment was toxic, right? And so when what used to happen, sorry. So when my stepmom would
Three
hire
watching now.
a
0 likes.
maid, let me just
5 minutes, 27 seconds.
yes, if you can
527.
see me,
528.
please.
530.
I'm recording
531.
myself, so I'm not
Live.
sure if you can see me, but if you can, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please also just subscribe, and I'd highly appreciate your support. Thank you. Yeah, so my stepmom would employ house helps, and eventually those house helps, after 2 weeks of their employment, would also, start refusing to do things for me, start refusing to wash for me my clothes and all those things. Not that even then I wasn't washing my clothes, I was still washing my clothes. I was doing things for myself, but that support for me was also important because of my visual impairment. So it wasn't because they were supporting me, it wasn't because I wasn't able to wash for myself my clothes, but um, you know, per the agreement, they were supposed to wash for me my clothes. So alternatively, also I would have options. Like when they would do all these things, there are times they would serve me very little food. There were times I remember, like, I think, is it a whole year or two, I never ate lunch in the house because every time they would serve food, and then they wouldn't leave any for me. So I would um I would have to stay without eating. So, being that I was on medication, food was very important for me because, with medicine, you have to eat so that at least you can take medicine. So, for me, that was very important. But unfortunately, those things were happening. I thank God because God was my comfort. God was the pillar that I had and still have that helped me carry on. I remember I used to just cry, I would pray, and I would just ask God for grace to help me go through that season. My dad also tried. My dad really tried in supporting me, though I can still say the support system was not really good still back at home as a person with visual impairment. I'll be sharing with you my relationship story with my dad, how it was, everything about my relationship with my dad. And so yeah, in a different episode. So yeah, so for me, I remember when we moved out, before we moved out, that last week before we moved out, they locked the store. They locked the store where food was being kept, so there wasn't food in that last week. And then it was around the time of corona, so a lot was happening even outside. There was social distance, there was curfew, there was just a lot of change outside that was going about. And I remember my dad, I remember that last week food was being locked, and when you ask for them to like get you some flour or sugar, they would say they don't have the key. So when you go to sleep at night, when you wake up in the morning, you'd find the food, the flour or the sugar has been put on the kitchen counter. So you'd wonder, hiya, I thought this you don't have the key. But you see, like I said, even previously, before even Corona and all those things, they were still locking the store. As in, there was just a lot. So, if you haven't watched the previous episodes, please watch so that you can be able to get a foundation, or rather an understanding of this story I'm giving you. Yeah, so that 1 week there was no food. It was really tough, and for me, I remember just saying in my heart that I'm never coming back home. I'm never coming back here because I couldn't imagine the kind of frustration a person can go through, and yet that place is somewhere you'd call home. So for me, I just told myself I'm never coming back home, and with all the frustration I've gone through, when I move out, I just told myself I just want to live my life. I don't want to go through again or re-experience what I went through. There was just a lot. And like I said, when I tell my story, I'm not telling my story to expose or to put anyone in any bad light. I'm just simply telling my story and So I might not reveal every detail that was going on at home, but this is just to help someone who is going through a hard time, to know that nothing lasts forever, that everything is for a season, and uh, you have to also tag yourself, or rather, form a system, a belief system that is healthy. Like for me, I believed in God, and I still do believe in God. God was my support system. God was that pillar. Every time I would be discouraged, I would hear God comfort me. I would hear the peace of God in my life.
10 minutes 45.
And so,
For watching now 2 likes.
and so
10 minutes 49 seconds. 10:50.
and
10:51.
so
Live.
through those hard times, for me, God was that anchor, that pillar, that belief system, just believing in God, knowing that my journey is not done, that God has a good purpose for my life. And so, guys, I've just woken up. It's around 6, I think, in the morning here in Kenya. So yeah, yesterday I did an episode. I did, I think, the same, but unfortunately I can't find the recording. I don't know, maybe I deleted it by mistake, I don't know. But yeah, so okay, so now this is what happened. When I moved out, I didn't even know where I'm going. I didn't even know where to start. Being that I'm visually impaired, and it's around the time of corona, when you're visually impaired, you need the support, you need to be guided, so you're holding somebody's hand. And here is corona, where you're supposed to now social distance, avoid a lot of contact or close contact. So it was a very tough time. And being that we were being that I was moving out around this time, um, it was a new experience, but also a very difficult one, because I've never lived away from home. Um, where to start was kind of tricky, because I didn't know, um, you know, a new environment, how to adjust to a new environment, how to go about looking for groceries, the shopping, and even when but then God was so graceful, because I remember even looking for a house, I wondered, where am I going to move to? How am I going to, adjust to now this big change? Moving again was not just because I decided to move out. My dad had called us for a meeting, my sister and I, and he had told us that we need to move. And so we needed to look for, everyone needed to look for a place to go and live. And so, yeah, and so that's what happened. So that's what led also to me moving out. So I moved out. I found a place. It was a good environment, a good apartment, and by the grace of God, I adjusted. I would ask the caretaker, where does somebody buy groceries? I would ask the caretaker, for these small and minor things around the environment, to be able to also adjust. I remember when I would go buy vegetables at the market, I would ask that the lady selling, where I can get a bike. Because for me, you see, this is a new environment, this is a new thing. So I needed to also form a community. I needed to form a community that I know I can trust, or rather, I can work around to be able to navigate my way around home. So I remember also, I would, what did I want to say? When I moved out, so when I would ask the lady, should help me. So I'd ask her, where can I get a bike? Here in Kenya we call them nduthi. Like, how can I put it? Like a rider. Where can I get a rider to be, at least for me to be sending, at least for him to be delivering things to my home and all those things. So she would help me with contacts, and at least I would get a few people. But I must say, around also this time, I also engaged in not so good company. Remember, I've been um functional family. psychologically I was not okay. All this anxiety because I had to go about things and it was so not even it was very confusing. I wasn't even sure if I wasn't sure if I was gonna that challenge of now moving out and living on my own. So where I moved, I met this lady. She was nice. She wasn't a bad lady. Sorry, she was nice. She wasn't a bad lady. I remember she would come. I would pay her to wash my clothes and all those things. But again, she was also youthful. She was around my age then when I moved. That was in 2020. She was around my age. So um, I remember okay, she introduced me to smoking and drinking. And for me, I can say that I smoked, and it was my first time. I remember smoking, and you know the way people choke because they've smoked and it has interfered with their breathing or something. So for me, I smoked, and it was like I've been doing it for decades. Like I didn't even feel anything. It was like a norm for me. I am. And then again, the drinking, I drank, but again, it was like a norm. I didn't even, because people would say, "Hey, when you smoke, when you drink, gee, this is what happens." So me, I was expecting to feel all those things. Now, apparently, I never did. I didn't feel the high in smoking, and anytime I would drink, but I wouldn't wake up like over. You know, the way people say, "Hey, yesterday I drank. Hey, man, I woke up feeling," me, I wasn't feeling any of that. So I remember it was that 1 week. But for me, I stopped in that 1 week that I had started because I didn't find the importance or interest in it because whatever people said that happens when you smoke and drink, I didn't feel that. So I felt like, this is just a waste of my time. I just, and so for me, that ended. I stopped smoking, I stopped drinking in that first week that I started. Um, we still remained as friends with the lady, and so she would come wash my clothes, should come, would cook lunch, would eat, but unfortunately, uh I think is it in 2021? Yes, in 2021, unfortunately, she passed on. She was very sick. I think she suffered a cold and it didn't take her well. So unfortunately, she ended up passing on. Yeah. So um, let me say psychologically, what happened at home for all those years also affected me psychologically, emotionally, and also physically. I was able to regain perfect health. My physical appearance was beginning to be good after I moved, but psychologically, I was really damaged. I remember getting anxiety. Sorry. Even meeting new people for me was a challenge because I would remember all that I've been through and I wouldn't want to be around people. I would be very picky, and of which it was a good thing, but as well, I can tell you that me meeting, how can I put it? I'm trying to think. As in, it was a very challenging time for me because I didn't know who to trust and who not to trust, and as well because of the psychological damage that had happened while I was back at home. Um, it made me also be very, how can I say it? My relationship really with people was not all that good because of the hurt, because of the pain, you know. And I didn't realize psychologically all that was going on, sorry, at home. I didn't realize that it had affected me psychologically. So when I moved out, that's when I realized, oh my God, I couldn't function well. I couldn't relate to people well because of all that I've been through. And emotionally, I also was I cried a lot. Even after leaving the environment and all those things, I really cried a lot because I realized I was still going through the pain. I was still hurt. Yani, there was just a lot of things that if you were to experience, it wouldn't take you like a year, a month of healing. You'd need, it's like a journey, it's like a process. And so for me, I remember I'm the kind of person still even today, I don't like staying idle. I like empowering myself. I like adding to my knowledge. So around that same time in 2020, I met an organization that was sponsoring for people to join school, or rather, to just do a course. And it was around the time of Corona, so not much was happening. So the fact that this organization were doing that in the time of Corona, I saw it as an opportunity to go in and enhance the skill I have, and also to just keep me busy. So I I'll go in as well, just have the education, just enhance my skills, and also empower myself. So I went in 2020, they enrolled me in 2020, but the course was starting in 2021. So I went through the course. I did food and beverage. I did food and beverage, the hospitality course. I was able to finish and I passed. At least I graduated from it. And then still I went in and did theology, but in a different institution. So you see, I had to also advance myself through education, and at least empower myself. And not that I wasn't educated before, but you see, I didn't want to also just stay idle, or rather, and then with a disability, unfortunately, also getting a job is not that easy. For me personally, when I did the hospitality course, unfortunately as well, um, what happened? You see, being that I have visual impairment, also the job availability was not there as such. So that's just a summary of yes, it's a summary of the move. After I moved, before I moved, that 1 week, how it was. I'll be sharing. Sorry. I'm sorry, Shalin. Okay. I'm sorry. I think I haven't taken tea. Yes. So I'll be sharing with you my uh, experience, my relationship with my dad on a separate episode. That one will be a special episode. Also giving my dad his flowers, just sharing with you how my relationship with my dad was before I lost my sight and after I lost my sight. And yes, 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 yes. So please join me for the next episode. I'll be sharing that. And if you haven't subscribed, please, 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 if you're watching me right now, on your screen, there's the subscription button. Please subscribe. Please subscribe that way. Also, when I come live or when I upload a video, you'll be able to be notified. Please also share with me your comments. Let me know what you think. If you have something you'd like to advise me, please advise me, encourage me right there on the comment section. This is my journey and I want to share it with you. I want to invite you to also journey with me because when we grow together, right? Yeah, so we can only do that by journeying together. Yes, yes, yes. And I love you. Thank you so much for joining me in today's episode. I love you. I love you. God bless you. Till next time. Bye bye.
24 minutes, 32 seconds. 0 watching now, 5 likes. 24 minutes, live. Finish button. Double. Live. Finish button. Are you sure you want to? Okay, button. Cancel button. Double tap to activate. Okay, button. Cancel button. Okay, button. YouTube.